Please.
Good evening, all. We have gathered here today for a very resourceful session on higher studies, research, and job opportunities in the United States of America. We have with us three eminent and highly educated personalities who would be lighting the way ahead further into the session, and I am honored to have the opportunity to welcome them to the session today. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Vijay Vaidyanathan, founding chair of the Biomedical Engineering Department at the University of North Texas. His research interests include biomedical instrumentation, remote health monitoring for seniors, and many such sophisticated arenas. Sir, on behalf of Christ College of Engineering, I welcome you to the session and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, let me welcome Mr. Peter Vermeulen, Director of International Recruitment at the University of North Texas. He pursued a marvelous 25-year career in higher education at leading graduate schools in the Europe and the US, directing firms and consulting multinational corporations and research recruiting students worldwide. Sir, we are honored to have you with us today. And on behalf of the Department of Civil Engineering, I would like to welcome you to this session. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, sir. The next person I have the pleasure to introduce is someone who has contributed significantly for the arrangements of this webinar. Please welcome Mr. Chandra Atholi, a person who has proved his proficiency in various fields of education, currently holding the position of the Chief Executive Officer of Bridge 360. He had the opportunity to provide at least 1,000 work visas and green cards for employees from different countries. Sir, thank you so much for joining. Welcome you to this session today.
Thank you, Fatima, for that excellent intro of all of us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. This webinar is jointly led by the Department of Civil Engineering and the Receptive Association of Civil Engineers, as well as Bridge 360. We have here Mr. Mithun MS, Assistant Professor at the Department of Civil Engineering, who had coordinated this event for the lot of us. Hearty welcome, sir.
Thank you, Fatima.
Next, thank you, sir. The fruition of this session depends on the presence of great minds, such as the likes of the fellow students who have joined here. Without you, the session would be futile. Therefore, I welcome you all to this session. Once again, hearty welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining. Next, I would like to hand over the platform to Mr. Chandra Atholi for taking the session further. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Fatima, again, and welcome all. Christ College, Irinjalakuda. I'm basically from Kerala, so I can speak Malayalam also if need be. But right now I'll talk in English. And first I want to thank Midun for taking the initiative of this whole event. It has been a pleasure interacting with Midun, and he came up with the idea of he wants to give this thought and that process to all the students in Christ College. So that is how it started. And I'll take just 2 minutes of your time. So what we, Bridge 360 as a company is doing is, as the name suggests, we bridge the universities in the US and the colleges and the students in India. That's what basically, as the name suggests, Bridge 360. We handhold the students from India, Kerala, to come to US and pursue their higher education, and we open up the avenue for them to dream. So we make their dreams come real. And why we are doing it is, we want to empower the new generation. So I want all of you to be empowered. After hearing this, you will understand the possibilities and the potential of coming to US. So that's why we are doing this one. And another theme of this one is, we want to make US education accessible for middle income and low income families in India. So that is, everyone thinks that it's very expensive to come to US. So we need to demystify that thought process. So making US education accessible for middle and low income families. And how we do it is, we handhold the students who are interested in this whole process and show them how to do it. And we do it everything on a free service. We don't expect anything from the college or the students from India. So This is what the platform is, and we do creative collaborations with your college also, so that your college on a higher level can interact with the University of North Texas, Denton. So with that, I'll conclude my talk, and I'll hand it over to Peter William, who is a good friend of mine, and he'll be taking up the initiative further. Over to Peter. Peter, all yours.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Atoli, for this wonderful introduction and really inspiring the purpose to make US studies available to as broad a community within India as possible. I'll share a few slides to get us started. There you go. So welcome everyone. My name is Peter Vermeulen. I'm the Director of International Student Recruitment at the University of North Texas, UNT. University of North Texas is a very large public university in south of the US in the very large city area called Dallas-Fort Worth. We have about 45,000 students on our campus, about 5,000 international students at the moment. So we love to work with Bridge 360. The mission of this organization is just fantastic, and they are an awesome partner for us as we work with South Asia. So quick introduction where we are located. If you look at the night sky map of the US, you'll see a really big bright dot in the night sky that really lights up in the middle and south of the nation. Right there, that's where UNT is located, in the metropolis of Dallas-Fort Worth. Dallas-Fort Worth, the reason why it's such a huge economy is this big motor here, the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. This is the economic motor that really drives the economy in our region. This is a 7-runway airport. 50 million people per year pass through this big motor here. And this is why so many companies are located right on our doorstep. And this is also why North Texas is the choice of many, many international students. If you look at where international students are mainly choosing to study in the US, there's basically 4 states where about 80% of all international students are studying. That is in the New England area, New York and Massachusetts. It's on the West Coast in California, and it is Texas. And so Texas, because of its fantastic economy, also because of the intensity of research that goes on here, a top location to pursue your studies. And it is driven really by this economy that you're looking at here. This is downtown Dallas, Dallas-Fort Worth, a twin city with many, many of the world's tech firms right on our doorstep. And we were located about 40 minutes drive north of the big city center of Dallas, in much more of a student town called Denton, Texas. You see it, it has the feel of small town USA with a courthouse and wonderful lawn in the middle. Lots of wonderful restaurants and little shops around the edges. A very safe, very pleasant student town. And the university itself is like a village by itself. We are an enormously big tree-lined campus, about 45,000 students. And the students live right with us here on campus. We have 13 different residence halls. We also have around the perimeter of the campus, many, many places where students can stay just off campus. This campus is enormous. It has its own facilities, its own places where the students eat, about 13 different restaurants. It has its own little fire and police station, and very large city by itself. Second facility that I also want to point out is we have a auxiliary campus, which is just very close to the main campus, which is a wonderful research facility called Discovery Park. This is where Dr. Vaidyanathan is located as well. And just to get an idea of the scale of this place, you'll see the little white truck in the foreground, and you'll see just how massive this place is. This is the facility where our College of Engineering and our College of Informatics are located. So in the US, you have basically two types of universities. You have those where there's only teaching going on, and you have universities where there's very much the research activity as well. And UNT is in that latter category, where on our campus, we have many laboratories, many labs, and our faculty are very actively involved in research. And so the ranking that matters for the University of North Texas is the Carnegie Foundation ranking, where we are a tier 1 research university, which means we're among the top 3% of research universities in the US. So I've been coming to India for many, many years, and it's really been a wonderful theme throughout my career. And one of the things I've noticed is that, especially in the field of engineering, there's really a constant change going on in what students are interested in. You know, just 10 years ago, 2012, I would come to India, I would look on the back of a rickshaw, and it would say telecom. And everyone wanted to be a telecom engineer. Just 5 years ago, just before the pandemic hit, I would look on the back of the auto and it would say networks. And many people wanted to be a networks engineer. Just earlier this year, I was in India in April, and I look on the back of the rickshaw and it says big data. And so we're squarely into a big data economy, the economy that is now growing and heating up after the pandemic is really going to be a very different economy. It's going to be an economy where industry is going to be looking for new talent. And we have with us today our chair of biomedical engineering, Dr. Vaidyanathan. He will tell you a little bit more about his field, but let me give you a broad introduction of the areas of study that industry is now really looking for. Here's an example of one of those big industrial giants. This is the new Giga factory from Tesla, which just moved into Texas. This is an enormous new production facility. And you know, the reason why companies like this are moving to Texas is not just because of tax reasons. You know, many states in the US provide good tax benefits, but they're moving to Texas because in Texas, they can find the right talent, the right new employees for the future that will really help a firm like this succeed. And where does that talent come from? Well, they come from all over the world. And there is a wonderful group of students who join us every year from India and go on to launch their careers at exciting tech companies like Tesla. So let me give you 3 areas that students are really interested in for the new economy. First of all, within engineering, here are the 4 areas that are really lining up for this new economy. First of all, within electrical engineering, there's a lot of research going on our campus in terms of robotics, and especially with the flying robots, the drones. Secondly, within mechanical engineering, we have a strong emphasis on energy engineering, stronger battery technologies, things like that. Then there is the area of material sciences. Material sciences, on our campus, we have our own clean room, center for nano fabrication. And then there is the very fast developing field of biomedical engineering. And Dr. Vaidyanathan will talk about this shortly. Then within computers and IT, of course, we have the traditional field of computer science. But lining up to get you a great start for the new economy are the fields of artificial intelligence, where UNT has a full master's degree in AI, cybersecurity, where we have a master's degree in cybersecurity, and of course also IS within the management area, MIS. And then finally, another area that I wanted to point out today is everything to do with analytics. Remember, this new economy is all about big data. And on our campus, there's many ways to get ready for this big data economy, including data science in our College of Informatics, business analytics in our College of Business, data engineering as well in our College of Engineering. And so plenty of great opportunities to be at the forefront when these companies start hiring for the new economy. Let me emphasize another aspect. Mr. Atoli already described to you that what we find really important at North Texas is that we remain accessible, affordable to students, not just from the most affluent echelons, but really from across the world. One thing that is going to make a huge difference in your budget studying in the US is simply the location of where you study. What you're seeing is a map of the cost of room and board in different states across the US. And when international students think about studying in the US, they often think about the New England and Mid-Atlantic area, New York, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, that region, or they think of California. And these two areas are the most expensive places to live in the US, with Texas being relatively much more affordable. Secondly, the level of tuition at North Texas is also much lower than on average throughout the United States at public universities. What you're seeing is we've lined up all the 50 states in the US and the average tuition at a public four-year institution in those states. And you see that the Texas average is already in one of the lower brackets. And you see that UNT's tuition here all the way to the right-hand side of the screen is actually much lower still, and one of the lowest in the US. And then on top of that, North Texas has wonderful mechanisms to also gain scholarships and also mechanisms to pay in-state tuition. So we'd love to talk to you more about that. We're going to give you a very simple email address that you can keep in touch with us. And then let's go to Dr. Vaidyanathan, who can talk about his field. So here's how you stay in touch with us: southasia@unt.edu.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks a lot for the excellent introduction of UNT and the facilities you have, etc. And I'm sure the students would have got a glimpse of what UNT looks like. And now let me introduce Dr. Vaidyanathan, who is the founding dean of biomedical engineering at UNT, and he's going to take us through what are the various possibilities of studies you'll have in biomedical engineering and related areas. Over to Dr. Vaidyanath.
Thank you, Chandra, and thank you, Peter, for the introduction. If let me share my screen with you so I can go over biomedical engineering. So can everyone see my screen clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So my presentation will be on biomedical engineering. And if you have any questions pertaining to biomedical engineering, I'll be very happy to answer them. So this is a quick snapshot of our department. The department came into existence in 2014, so it's a very young department. The master's program started in 2017, and our PhD program is very new. It only started in 1 year ago in 2021. Our unique feature is we have grown in this short time to more than 300 students. In fact, I think by fall, we will be well above that 302. At the undergraduate level, our student population is 48.5% women. Now, this may not seem like a big thing in India, where 50% women in engineering is very common. But in the United States, it's a big, big thing. You don't find a lot of women in engineering. At the graduate level, actually, our graduate population, student population is exactly 50% women. We have graduated more than 150 graduates. And as you can see, we have 10 faculty, tenure track faculty who do research and 1 lecturer. For those of you who are interested in the bachelor's program, our bachelor's degree is a very multidimensional degree. You can get a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering with 2 minors, a minor in mathematics and a minor in any other engineering discipline or biology. We also have an accelerated program where you can get a bachelor's and master's degree in 5 years. That's for very exceptional students. Then coming to our master's degree, we have a master's degree where you can get a degree in graduate degree in biomedical engineering and also get another minor in either engineering, any other engineering or business or even music. And some of the other degree options that we offer are a 2-year MS MBA option. So in 2 years, you can get 2 graduate degrees, a MS degree in biomedical engineering from us and an MBA from the College of Business. As was mentioned earlier, the College of Engineering offers a MS in AI, artificial intelligence, and it is possible to get that degree with a biomedical engineering concentration. Actually, if you're willing to stay 1 more semester, you can even get a master's degree in biomedical engineering. So we are an ABET accredited program, which is a national accrediting body. And I've captured all the faculty research areas in this snapshot. As you can see, our faculty covered a wide gamut of research areas in biomedical engineering. This is the new biomedical engineering where we are building, where we are located. It was completed in 2019. And as you can see from where our graduates are, our graduates are working in some of the top biomedical engineering companies in the nation, like Abbott, Alcon, Biomedics, Boston Scientific, Zimmer Biomed, Orthofix. Our graduates are also in many medical schools and in also other top graduate schools like Cornell and Johns Hopkins. And this is just a slide that shows our journey in time, how we started in 2014 and how we have gone through various milestones. And right now we are here in April 21, we got our PhD. And right now we have all 3 degrees and we have more than 300 students in our department. And if you look at our demographics, you can see we are a very, very diverse department. All demographics are well represented in our department, both at the undergraduate and graduate level. And our unique feature, like I keep saying, is the amount female undergraduate students and graduate students in our program. So this tells you about all the opportunities we offer. We currently offer teaching and research assistantships, and the research expenditures are going up every year. In fact, just in the last 1 month, 2 of our faculty got grants totaling more than $1 million. Okay. So for those of you who are interested in getting information on the bachelor's program, our bachelor's degree is from anywhere from 120 to 137 credit hours. And these are the different tracks that you can specialize in. And according to the track, you can get a minor in the related engineering discipline. For example, if you're interested in biomedical instrumentation, you can get a minor in electrical engineering. If you're interested in biomechanics, you can get a minor in mechanical engineering, and so on. We also enable our students to take courses from the College of Business. So you can, specialize in sales or marketing or entrepreneurship. For those of you who are interested in pre-med program, you can also get a minor in biology. And we offer an accelerated BSMS program, which we call the grad track program, that enables our students to complete a bachelor's degree and master's degree in 5 years. So here are the graduate degree options. You can get a master's degree in biomedical engineering by doing a thesis. This is a total of 30 semester credit hours, 24 hours of coursework, 6 hours of research thesis. You can also opt for a non-thesis option, which is all coursework. That is a total of 33 credit hours. And as I mentioned before, you can take 3 electives from any other engineering or management or health services administration or performance arts health in the College of Music, or even audiology, speech and hearing. We offer a very unique MS MBA option, 2-year, 2 graduate degrees, MS in biomedical engineering from our department, and MBA from the graduate school, from the business school, excuse me. And both those graduate degrees can be obtained in 2 years. This is a cohort program. So in the first year, you will complete the MS in biomedical engineering. And second year, you can complete the MBA from the business school. Then we have the MS in AI with biomedical engineering concentration. And lastly, we have our own PhD. And we have 2 tracks in the PhD. One is the conventional research track, and the other one is the startup management track. This is the first of its kind in a public university in Texas, which allows you to translate your dissertation into a startup. Okay, so you can take courses from the College of Business. We also connect you with entrepreneurs, and that way you are enabled to create your own startup. Excuse me. So we are a young program, and despite that, we have grown very rapidly in rankings. As you can see, excuse me, our master's program is ranked 9th in the nation for biomedical engineering 2 years in a row by Best Value Schools. And recently, Intelligent.com ranked our master's program as 2nd in the nation as best preparation for PhD track. Our PhD startup track is first of its kind in a Texas public institution. And last year, we were in the top 100 among public universities in the US News ranking. And many of you might be interested to know what kind of research our faculty are doing here. So I have a quick run through on that. So if you're interested in micro and nanotechnology, including lab on chip, we have a faculty member working on that, Dr. Yong Yang. Then if you're interested in bio 3D printing, we have a very outstanding faculty member who is a pioneer in this field. He also has his own startup company, which he has brought with him to our department. On the other hand, if you're interested in more macro things like instrumentation, robotics for biomedical engineering, soft robotics, and exoskeleton design, which will enable people to walk better, We have Dr. Amir Jafari, whose research area is in the area of biomechanics and rehabilitation engineering. If you're interested in the area of genetics, genetic circuits, we have Dr. Clement Chan, who came to us from MIT. Is very well funded with multiple NIH grants. If you're interested in drug delivery systems using nanotechnology, we have Dr. Neda Habibi. And then Dr. Brian Meckes works in the exciting area of advanced biotechnology for stem cell differentiation. So if you're interested in using these kind of new technologies for cancer research, therapeutics, diagnostics, then his research would be very relevant. Then if you're interested in tissue engineering, we have Adam Yang, who came to us from Stanford. His area of interest is particular to cardiovascular disease modeling and regenerative medicine. On the other hand, if you are more inclined towards medical imaging and biosignal processing, then we have Dr. Lin Lee. He recently got a NIH R16 grant. So as you can see, most of our faculty are very well funded from federal and other sources. Dr. Melanie Ecker is our biomaterials, biopolymers person, and she does some really exciting research work in designing intelligent bandages and biopolymers for application in the nervous system and the GI tract. Dr. Shi is our teaching faculty member. As you can see, she also has a PhD and postdoctoral research experience in tissue engineering. And finally, it's me. My research experience is in the area of biomedical instrumentation, wireless ECG monitoring, and biomedical optics, cancer detection. And here are some of our joint appointments. We have Dr. Pam Padilla, who is also our VPR actually now. She's no longer associate, she's now the VPR, Vice President for Research for the entire university. Then Dr. Rita Patterson is the Associate Dean for Research at the UNT Health Science Center. Her expertise is in the area of biomechanics. Dr. Al Yarvardi is in the area of osteopathic medicine and new technologies in medicine. Then physiology and anatomy is Dr. Jonathan Toon. And then we have Dr. Mark Albert, who is a joint appointment in Department of Computer Science and our department. He's our resident expert in AI and machine learning. Dr. Kisa Mathis does work on applied physiology. And lastly, we have Ms. Denise Ressler, who is a consultant with 20 years experience in FDA regulations. And she actually teaches an undergraduate and graduate course for us in that field, in terms of FDA regulations and international regulations for getting devices, medical devices confirmed by the FDA. So these are all our faculty, and lastly, this is my passion. This department is my creation, my baby. So I take great pride in this department. So this is a basic, quick, short description of biomedical engineering and what we do. Very quickly, I wanted to show you a website where you can apply. So if I can share my screen one more time. So for those of you who are interested in applying to master's and PhD programs in biomedical engineering or any program at UNT, what you would do, you would go to this website, you would register, set up an account, and you would go through and fill out and choose the master's degree in biomedical engineering or PhD in biomedical engineering from the website, and you would apply it to the program. And once you apply to the program, your application would come to our graduate school. Our graduate school will do the initial screening, looking for standardized test scores, giving you a standardized GPA in the US format. And after that, they would send it to the department for our decision. So that's how the admission process works here. So thank you again for your time and for your patience in listening to me. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vaidyanath. It is excellent points you have mentioned. I am sure the students would have understood the various combinations of degrees you could take. Rather than from India, we are just looking at one particular area of concentration. Here, there are possibilities of working in all these different areas which Dr. Vaidyanath was referring to. And it is up to your imagination to see what you want to study. Don't just restrict to some of the courses you are aware of. There are a lot of possibilities. Open up your mind and see what you can do. It's all within
You know, Chandra, that's such an important point, that really the value of a US education is that you can take control of your interests and really incorporate them into your own studies, much more than any other education system. You know, I know from India, there's a lot of interest in the UK, in Canada, in Australia. You know, all of those education systems have basically the British system model, right? And
right.
in the British education system model, the universities are very prescriptive as to the kind of courses you have to take. US is very different. US, of course, makes sure that you have a strong foundation, a strong core in your field. But then beyond that, if your academic progress is good, the academic advisors will work with you to really incorporate a lot of different areas into your studies to help you customize for the career that you have in mind. I think that's part of the beauty of studying in the US.
Very, very well, well said, Peter. And I hope everyone has understood this concept, what Peter was referring to. We would open out the forum for QA session, and you can either talk in this meeting, or else you can send it through the chat, or Midun can take the questions and ask us the questions. Whichever way, we are open to answer all your queries regarding US higher education, the fee structure, the visa, or whatever you want to know. Means we can know, we can let you know. And if you are not able to have everything in this time, you can communicate to Midun, and he'll be able to communicate with us and UNT, and we'll give you the full picture.
Me, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. They asked a few questions. They're asking about is there, you've been specific about biomedical engineering. What about opportunities for other students from other branches like civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and electronics and communication, computer sciences?
So we have in the College of Engineering, we have Department of Computer Science and Computer Engineering. Then we have Department of Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Engineering. So electronics and communication would fall under electrical engineering. We do not have a civil engineering department, but we do have a construction engineering technology program that also offers a master's degree in construction engineering technology and in construction management. So those options are also available.
And energy management is also one of the areas you are focusing on.
That's under in mechanical engineering.
Right, yeah.
Chandra, remind me, Christ University based in Karnataka, is that correct?
What is that?
Kerala.
Kerala, okay.
Yeah, Kerala, yeah. Christ University is in Kerala, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Midun, any other questions? What are the other questions we are getting?
The students they have some doubts about the stay back options after education, after completing their education. Can you please elaborate?
I can take that question. Yeah, when you come on a student visa, it's called F2 visa, F1 visa. And as long as you study here, you are on an F1 visa. After study, if you have taken a science, technology, engineering, math stream, we call it the STEM stream, you'll be eligible for 3-year OPT, that is optional practical training. That means after the studies is over, you can stay back for 3 more years. And within this 3 years, you should get a sponsor who is going to file your H-1B visa. So the H-1B visa is the first term of it is for 3 years, and then there is an extension for 3 more years. So basically, F1 visa, let's say you are coming here for a grad school, means 2 years. Then OPT, you can work on OPT for 3 years. So 2 plus 3, 5 years. H1, the first part of H1 will be 3 years. So 5 plus 3, 8 years. And then the last part of H1 is one more extension, 3 years. So 11 years you can be here on that one. And by the 11th year and all, you already have started your green card process, and then you'll be able to get extension till you get the green card and you go into the citizenship status and all that thing. So basically, that is 2 plus 3 plus 6. It goes like that. And if you are in any of the trending technology areas we have been talking about, means the getting a job should not be much of a problem, especially in UNT, which is in Dallas. As Peter was telling, it is a bustling town, city, Dallas. There are a lot of employers looking for very, trending technology people who have graduated. So you should not have any problem in getting a job and staying back normally.
It's especially in the biomedical engineering field. I think what Chandra described is it is quite a typical process where students, of course, beyond their studies are definitely looking to get some industry experience as well. One thing to keep in mind that initially when a student comes to the US, they come on what's called a non-immigrant visa, right? And this is really quite very important for your visa interview, that initially the intent that you express towards the US government is one of a non-immigrant, meaning that you're coming to study, and you're definitely also with that OPT period coming to gather some great internship experience. But initially, the way you'll present yourself to the consulate will be as a non-immigrant, meaning that you will very much emphasize the study component of your reason to come to the US. Now, later on, as your studies progress, as you pick up more internship time, you'll find that a lot of companies are looking to you as very valuable potential employees as well. And so I think what Chandra described is a very realistic path, but do be cautious in your initial visa application that you very much emphasize the student component of what you're coming to do in the US.
So there's one more question. It's about scholarships and how to apply for them.
Peter, can you take that, or you want me to take? Better you take it.
I'll make a start, and then Chandra, you can add to it for sure.
Sure. Okay.
You know, the way to fund your studies in the US, we could talk about this for 3 hours, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's a big topic.
Yeah.
But let me make a start. You've already seen in my part of the presentation that the biggest influence on your budget is actually not scholarships, it's where you study, the location of your studies, right? Now, in addition to that, universities like North Texas, we do have a very generous scholarship program. We also have the ability for students when they do assistantships on the master's level to qualify for in-state tuition. In-state tuition would be like you pay like a Texas student, not like an international student. And that would really reduce your tuition by as much as 50%. And so there's lots of great mechanisms to make your study more affordable. Best way to get information on that, though, is to let us help plan that with you so that we understand what your financial needs will be, and we guide you to the right resources to help make that possible for you. A great resource for that I haven't mentioned yet, but I think is something that you should have on your radar is the University of North Texas. We have our own, on my team, we have our own in-country person in India. Her name is Geeta Kuruba. She travels all over India, including to Kerala. And so we'll ask her soon to visit your institution as she goes south. So you can reach Geeta at southasia@unt.edu. And you'll tell me, oh, Peter, I don't use email, I use WhatsApp, right? And so send Geeta one short email and get her to add you to her WhatsApp list so that you can work with Geeta with all of these specific questions about how do you apply, how do you find funding, how do you get admitted.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, let me add a few more things and make it a little more understandable to you, the initial part of it. By the way, Geeta is based out of Delhi, and she'll be happy to come and meet at the Christ College also. That is one point. And coming back to the tuition which Peter was referring to, everyone's question is, how much do I have to spend? That is what your question will be. Everyone's mind, it is there, but you are not asked that question. I'll answer it for you. Okay. So basically the tuition fees, typically tuition fees for UNT will be around $20,000 or somewhere in that range. I might be a little up or down, $20,000 or something. And with a $75 dollar to rupee conversion, it is going to be around 15 lakhs. Okay, I know the rate is now 80 or something, but let's take it like 75 rupees for a dollar. So your tuition fees is going to be 15 lakhs. Okay, now the next expense you will have to come is the living expense, which will have 4 components. One is your dormitory and living inside the campus or outside the campus and all. That is one component. The second component is your food and mess expense. And the third will be your medical expenses, which is mandatory, and then the books and supplies and all these things. All these things together could be around $9,000 or $10,000 up or down a little bit, which, as Peter was telling earlier, which is going to be the cheapest sort of, because we are living in Texas, which is a very less expensive compared to other East Coast and West Coast. So other places it could be maybe huge compared to this one. So now we have a $10,000 on this one also. That is the living expense. This is without you getting any scholarship. Now, Peter did refer to this in-state tuition, which dramatically changes your tuition fee from $20,000 to roughly $10,000 up or down a little bit. So $10,000 could be almost 7.5 lakhs, plus the living expense, which I earlier told, 6.5 lakhs. So around 15 lakhs if you have, you'll be able to finish 1 year of tuition, plus the living expense, everything together. So that is the sort of money you should be having. Then, of course, you have the option of getting some small jobs inside the campus. You'll be making a little money. And if you are lucky to get a teaching assistant with good scores and all, if you are able to get a teaching assistants, you'll be far better off. But be aware that the teaching assistants, there are a lot of students vying for the same teaching assistants. Then the chance of getting will be, it's going to be very, very competitive, especially when you go to bigger institutions like UNT. You was telling we have around 40,000 plus students, and every international student will be vying for that teaching assistant. So be aware of that one. But all said and done, around 14-15 lakhs in 1 year will be your expense, right? Peter, roughly ballpark figure.
Typically, yes. And the best way to make sure that all those ducks line up in a row is from the day one to start working with my team so that we can plan to see what scholarships you qualify for. We start planning on how you can get an assistantship, all of those steps.
Yeah, exactly. And whoever is really interested means get in touch with Professor Mithun, and he will talk to you and he'll connect with me, and I'll run over this one a little more details. I don't want to go into too much details. And then once you understand the whole thing means we'll take it to Peter's department, the International Admission Office, and then it will go to the graduate school, and then it will come to departments like biomedical or engineering or whatever departments you are doing. I advise you to go to UNT website and explore. Spend 1 hour on UNT website and see what is the potential you are going to have. And then you'll be bowled out by seeing what all you can study. And one more question is, typically this also I get a lot of questions. Nobody asked, how much do I make after studying in US? Because I spent 2 years, how much do I make? Anyone wants to give an answer? The first job you might be getting? Mithun, you want to throw some light from your side?
Yes, I would like to compare the situations in India and US. Definitely, you told me that it will be around, you can say 10 million Indian and compared to India. Okay. And when the gainings is compared with what we gain in India, it's around 10 million.
Let me put it in a better way for people there to understand. So initial salary, as one as a H1 job is concerned, when you get the first job, an H1 job, there is a mandatory minimum salary that has to be paid to any H1B employee. I think it is now $65,000 or $70,000. So $70,000, if you translate into the Indian money, it will be like 50 lakhs or 55 lakhs. That is what will be a first H1B yearly salary. Okay, that is what you have to compare to how much people are making now when you go out of the college and get a job in India in TCS or Wipro or any of these big IT companies. How much do you make in 1 year? And compare that to that 50 or 55 lakhs you ought to get on your first H1B. And that is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah, that's right. So that's what I was actually setting out the values of yearly minimum. So.
Yeah, that's the minimum, because it is mandated by US government that H1 employee should be paid a minimum salary of this much. But when you are very good and the technology is good, means definitely you'll be able to make more and more in the years to come.
You know, Chandra, it's interesting to try and put a number on future salary, of course, and certainly by and large, our students recoup the investment of their studies very quickly, as in within the first 5 years.
Exactly.
Now, another aspect to keep in mind is many of the graduates from US, though, they will find careers all over the world, right? I'm just back from the Middle East and found that, especially in the Emirates, many US educated folks are having fantastic global careers located right there. And so folks should keep in mind that a US education doesn't just open the door for perhaps a career in the US, but is very relevant to careers either back home or around the world. And so in addition to certainly a much stronger earning potential, you pick up the potential to be much more marketable for a global career. And I think that's really where the gain is of the US education. And yes, within the relative short term of about 5 years, you'll find that your basic study costs are also recouped.
Very, very true. Very true. And now I have noted a recent trend. It's not recent, it has been happening. Big corporations in the US also, once they hire the employees and give them good salaries, they are now giving options for the employees to go back and work from India. Almost 80 to 90% of the salaries they are getting in the US, they are getting from India also. I have two of my friends with family, with the spouse, they were working in big corporations here. They were given the option, if you want, you can go and work from India. And the salary was almost 90% of what they were making here. So you don't have to leave your parents and all come here and have to stay here. You can get the education and you can be anywhere in the world, like maybe Emirates or New Zealand or wherever you want to go, you can get a job, or maybe back in India. So you're just opening your doors for the career and making your dreams happen.
Yeah, Chandra, typically this is a phase of career, kind of a progression where we do see a significant number of our students who, after studies and after the internship period, decide they're going to go home for a number of years. Often they then work for either US or international companies locally. And then as they progress in terms of their responsibility for the company and are leading teams and responsible for budgets and projects, then very quickly they come to a level where they become so valuable for the company that the company again sends them abroad. And this can be back to the US, this can be around the Middle East, this can be to some of the Pacific Asia markets. We see our alums are really pursuing global careers now.
Yes, very true. Any more questions? We are almost 1 hour, 3 minutes into this event. Midun?
I think that's it, the questions. That was the last question that I had.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Could you tell what are the qualification or eligibility needed to apply for a graduation program at UNT?
Okay. Yeah, basically, depending upon which program you are going, it might be a little different, but you'll need to have an English qualifying exam, which could be TOEFL or IELTS, and there will be a band for that one. There will be a mark needed. You can see
6 band on the IELTS.
it is, yeah, IELTS, it is 6 band. Okay, now then if you are going for a grad school, means you might need GRE, or if you are going for business, you might need a GMAT. So basically, these are the 3 exams you might have to take. One is the English proficiency, IELTS or Duolingo or TOEFL, and GRE or GMAT. And the scores you can see, go to the particular department on the website and explore, you'll be able to see that one. So these are the 3 exams. 2 exams only you'll have to take, TOEFL and GRE exam you'll have to take.
Yeah, so you need of course, strong scores in your original program in your country, meaning for India, 65–70% CGPA. And then within the GRE, a competitive score starts around the 300, with a quantitative score of about 160, 165 on the quantitative element there. That's when you start to be competitive for admission to our engineering graduate programs.
Is that clear? Did it clarify your doubt?
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you.
I think that's it. We are not receiving any more doubts.
Yeah, if anyone has further doubts, means they can ask you, or you can send an email to studyinusa@brit360, or any of the emails which Peter and Dr. Vaidyanath has given. We'll all respond. We all work together, so no worries. you can communicate to UNT also. But Professor Midun will be your easiest approach. So connect with him today itself and let him know what you people want to study, and we'll take it forward. Okay. Somebody is just joining right now. Okay. Okay, then we'll wind it up.
Okay, so
Thank you so much.
I think they have a small ceremony, probably vote of thanks they might be having.
okay, thank you, Dr. Vijay Vaidyanathan, Mr. Peter Vermeulen, and Mr. Chandra Atholi. It was a wonderful session that you had. I personally thank you for giving all this information. I think that my students will be inspired by this and they will be contacting us at the earliest. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Midun.
Thank you.
Wonderful coordination.
Thank you.
And Peter and Vijay and all the students, I especially thank all the students who took time to come for this one, just to understand what are the possibilities. So we have opened the door for you. Now you're all welcome to enter into UNT world. Okay.
I specifically thank all the students who have come here. Thank you all, my dear students. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Good evening.